nothing. We're not going to worry about your bank account. That doesn't matter because this is the alpha to divinity space. So in the alpha space, y'all both got money. Okay. A lot of the determining factors is not the money, it's the personality types. Are you willing to trust your partner? And he is a high level. Because he's now highly desired. She is highly desired. This is your boy Don Peter, gentlemen. Welcome to the Exoticprenuer show where defining your purpose is win with pride. Hey, look, so your boy is feeling himself. Hey, look, man, today's episode is actually about the alpha, the sigma, and the beta energy. How to work with those different styles of energy and those different styles of people that you're going to come across. And a lot of times we're moving in a space of big dog energy, top dog like your Kevin Samuels and your Andrew Tates of the world and your Mike Robinsons and also your 19 Keys. You feel what I'm saying? Those alpha men do have different perspectives and different paradigms on how they articulate themselves as men, but they're at one thing you can't deny. These are alpha men. These are leaders. Okay. Now, what do you got is next in line and on the opposite side of those alpha men are alpha women. All right. Those are your Stormy Wellingtons of the world, your Natalie Nicole's, your Elena Cardones, your Oprahs of the world. You know what I'm saying? These are ultra alpha. Now, the next phase in those you got your sigmas, your sigma males, the sigma males and females. I like to consider these people like me. I would consider myself a sigma, where that we know who we are. We just not trying to run everybody. We just know what we bring to the table and we just work with the table. And if you bring something to the table, then we're not heavy on that submissive energy. It's more of a let's work together, and it's a collaborative energy. Now, the thing is that I see a lot of women that the modern day women, I will believe, will be more in the teeters between alpha and sigma, where that they want to bring something to the table, but they reserve the right to be submissive to the masculine energy of that space. So in the Exoticpreneurs world, you have a wide array of people that works in the alpha, ultra alpha, and sigma energies. Now, the last and the not least is we call the beta energy. And the beta energy is basically your customers. Those are ones that have now put you, male or female, in the position of power, and now they're serving. These are your employees. These are also, and that doesn't mean that you cannot develop that sigma alpha energy. And the top of the energy I would consider to be the divine energy, where I am currently working towards developing the skill set to be in a divine masculine energy, which I will strongly consider that to be Jesus, Yeshua. Of course, I would consider the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to be in that space. I would consider that Bishop T.D. Jakes to be in that space. I even would consider outside of the religious space, which, that was 19 Keys that's not in a religious space, but operated in that space. Malcolm X, I would consider in that space. Martin Luther King, I was consider in that space, which is the divine masculine energy, where that they operate in empathetic energy, but also they are also a full man. Oh, actually, no, not at all. Because I was thinking about Mike Robinson, but he's more of an alpha energy. He's not really, but he's understanding the divine masculine energy as a whole. Another person that I highly recognize and respect that I believe work in that energy is Jesus. Peace. Now my brain is failing me. I don't remember anymore. So we're just going to move forward on that. It might come to me later. But when you're moving in those spaces, the exoticpreneur has to learn how to cultivate or never yield out. How could I even overlook Myron Golden? Shout out to Myron Golden. I consider him my virtual mentor. We met several times. Picture right there. We met several times, and I was able to attend a lot of his mentorships and stage tests because he's a business coach who uses his business principles and teaches business principles from the point of view from a biblical standpoint, and has helped and coached a lot of people. Without him, I wouldn't be able to stand before you today as a complete man, because he explained and broke down the spiritual aspects of how I believe and think on a scientific level as the exoticpreneur, because exoticpreneur is just a man or a woman that mastered their fear and not afraid to go out and get it, and have successfully aligned their mindset and their spirit set to take their body set to go forward, okay, to achieve their total greatness. And their total greatness is not defined by money, but that's a part of it. And a lot of the communications and a lot of the dang on relationships that we have in our lives are directly correlated to money on the mid to low levels. But when you get into those higher levels, the money is no longer a factor. This is where when you're starting to level up to ascending to the the divinity space or divine masculine feminine energy, that's level 20. You feel me? That's 2.0 you. Okay. But when you're on level 19 or below, the money is no longer a factor, but the connection is, and the communication is. And as an exoticpreneur who is pioneering this space and pioneering the mindset that that I'm sharing with you, so that hopefully y'all adopt, which is the fearless mindset, despite no matter what lane you're in, no matter if you're in a religious space, no matter if you're just in a business space, no matter if you're in leadership, to just impact. But to impact, you have to be empathetic to that same nuance. It's the thing of how me, as being a simp at one point, being a beta male who put all women on a high pedestal because that's what I was raised to believe at one time. And that doesn't mean that you don't deserve to be highly regarded. So understand the difference. There's a point where that you're being put on a pedestal, and then there's other things of when you're being worshiped as a god. And see, what I've gone to learn, that when you put men and women, but we just all in sense, when the sense of all intents of the word, when you're putting people on a pedestal in a point of worship outside of just respecting their works versus worshiping them as if they're a god, you have now become disaligned with yourself. Okay. You'll now become disaligned with your personal person. See, the thing that the exoticpreneur understands is that they successfully align with all points in their body. So if you was to go into the spiritual realm of the chakras, when all of your chakras are in alignment, you are at a perfect peace. Now, what brings to my mind is the beautiful queen empress who operates in her empress energy, which I consider her an ultra alpha woman, is Stormy Wellington. Now, what about Stormy Wellington that makes her amazing and makes her put into that empress energy? It's because she has triumphed and triumphed. The reason I use her a lot is because she has personified on one end the exoticpreneur mindset, fruition-wise, in regards to monetarily support, in regards of community support, in regards to mindset support, in regards to elevating the community as a whole, and being able to be unapologetically vulnerable, where she has now put her life on a platform. I can't say pedestal. A lot of people would try to misconstrue that, but it's not a pedestal. It was literally, she put her whole life on a pedestal in a ways that it resonated with a whole generation of women that have now gone on and became very impactful in a lot of ways, but also, to be transparent and honest, a little destructive too, a little disassociative, that you can be a female boss, but also be a great partner. Now, the reason why I mentioned her is because I noticed a lot of women that's in her, not in her economic bracket, but in her space, that are single. And what I found is that when I was in the game, was in the exotic game, I started noticing a lot of the entertainers that made good money and they established their brand and their name, they became the Build-A-Bear women. They were the women who actually didn't want the man to work. She actually operated in an absolute masculine energy because she was the higher breadwinner. She was the bigger money maker. So because she was in that bigger money making space, she also left very little room for the man to actually to feel masculine in his true energy as provider protector, which means he went out and got the money as well as became a provider and protector part. So it was one thing of, he was just a big dude. This is how a lot of the entertainers end up dating guys who had that masculine swag, but didn't have that masculine money. And since they didn't have that masculine money, the male started turning inward on his personal self-worth. And he no longer felt alpha anymore. He started going into a beta space. Because in a sigma space, these are men that are just secure on it, but they're not impressed with your money. They're just comfortable with being compatible with you. Versus the divine masculine man who will only attract and work with a woman that is working in an equal energy, meaning it's a positive and a positive. It's Superman dating Wonder Woman. You feel what I'm saying? When Superman dates Wonder Woman, they're perfectly divine beings that operated in the highest space. Now, I don't want to get y'all twisted. This is the black version of this, is the African American version of Superman and Wonder Woman, because we were the people that they modeled those characters around. So just make sure we get there. It's that Shango and Oshun energy, so we can keep it a buck. It's that Shango and Oshun energy where that we come rocking and we come with authority, but we also divine because we are able to operate in the highest form of transformation to not only save themselves because there are very low vulnerabilities or imperfections, but there's also very low points of penetration. So you can't penetrate their mind because they know who they are. They also moving in a space where they're building and cultivating and lifting the culture in a very empathetic and soft and accountable way, like the Honorable Minister Muhammad, the way Yeshua moved into the people, where he worked with the people as a divine being, knowing who he is, knowing how he operates, knowing that this place is not his permanent destination, but the transference of knowledge, body, and spirit to lay the foundations and groundwork. Another person I would consider that would be in that Sigma space, but had a high impact is the author Napoleon Hill, where that he was able to find his wife and the master from this servitude and leading a masculine man through his works of documentation. Okay, so when you find yourself moving and trying to learn how to communicate with these different energies, let me give you some tips on how to work with them. Okay, and these are just experience tips. It's subject to your own interpretation, and all I want to offer is, as always, I don't force my opinions on anybody. I just give you perspective. All I want to offer is a perspective that may work for you, may not work for you. Full disclaimer, I'm not a therapist or psychologist. I just lived alone a lot, and I read a lot, and I study a lot of different manuscripts on psychology, neurology, behavioral therapy, and other areas to further understand myself so that I can communicate with you at a level of understanding, no matter your scientific or professional background. It doesn't matter if you got a college degree or your degree was from the school hard knocks of life. We can still relate and we can still connect. And I stand before you as a whole man, a healed man, and a clear man who's going to be here to articulate itself. So I have no prejudice or no prejudice, nothing like that. Just full disclaimer, I don't want nobody trying to sue me or saying you said this and you said that. Yes, I said it, and I'm telling you why I said it. All right, so let's get into it. Dealing with the Sigma man. The dealing with the Sigma man is, most women receive them as a more of a softer type of thing because they smile all the time. They're very comfortable in their skin and they know who they are and they know whose they are. They're not domineering and they're actually teeter-time between the fawning space. So if you understand the four fears of, where's five, but we only going to talk about the four. And that's the fear. Those are the fight, flight, freeze, and fawn, the catering energy. And most Sigma men are most of the men that you normally would want to marry. Okay, ladies. So if you come across a Sigma man, these are the marriage material guys. These are guys who have ambition, who may be entrepreneurial, but most of the time they do work a regular traditional 9 to 5 or a good income producing job where that they can give you the right picket fence and the horse carriage and stuff like that. Those are the women, those are the men that that are great marriage material type of men. Now, are you able to work with this type of guy? These guys, the only thing with this is the positive side. They are marriage material. Here's the negative side to them. They are also the type that don't want to be bothered with disruptive energy over time. Meaning, if you have not healed as a woman, if you have very high level points of insecurity, if you are trauma dumping on this man, he will eventually not want to, he will ghost you. He will ghost the serial. He's the type of man who will literally pay for everything, take everything, give you the best sex of your life, and then leave. And you're gonna be left looking disgusted, saying, "What the fuck just happened?" Okay. And then you're gonna go around being mad at the world, being mad at men, saying, "Man ain't shit, man is doing this, man is doing that." Well, really, he was a Sigma man, and he realized that your energy was not conducive to his energy, and he decided to walk a fucking way before he let your energy disrupt his energy. Okay, now here's the flip side. If you're a woman and you're walking in and you're a modern, and these are all your Sigma women, all your modern day women, I consider y'all somewhere between ultra masculine and Sigma women, where y'all bringing something to the table. Y'all got a job, y'all have career orientations, y'all have dreams, aspirations, and y'all are fulfilling those dreams.
It's your boy FM Room. I just got my second order of Driven. My favorite fragrances. He done made me put the creed down. Damn right, bro. Appreciate you.
Man, that bro. The thing is that a lot of times y'all normally attract men who are normally y'all are attracted to alpha men because that's the type of man y'all really want. But you're attracted to them and you have them in the idea, but what you end up working with is beta men. Because when you get with a Sigma man who sees your value, who sees your worth in regards to you have your own, but yet you cannot shake that masculine energy of I got to do it all by myself. So who are you type of energy? And I got my own money, my own car, blah, blah energy. And you push away or distance yourself to the men that actually will be your complement, because those are two positives. Okay. In the comic book, and I use a lot of comic book references simply because I love comic. Yeah. All right. It's matter of fact, it's Goku and Chi-Chi or Vegeta and Bulma. You feel me? Those are ultra alpha men who and divine men who only work with spicy, very cognitive women. But then you have Krillin and Android 18, where there are two Sigmas, where that she has the power and the magnitude to do great things, but so does he. They match each other energy because he can be soft and hard at the same time. Another prime example is Gohan and his wife, Mr. Satan's daughter. Them two, because Gohan is not. He's very get along. He's very likable. Okay, so all my Dragon Ball Z fans, oh y'all gonna love this. All my Dragon Ball Z friends, y'all gonna love this. The greatest thing is Gohan. And matter of fact, all right, yeah, I know I'm live right now, so it's drawing a blank. So I'm gonna look up Gohan's wife. Gohan's wife on Dragon Ball Z. Videl. Videl is Gohan's wife. I knew I couldn't think of her name because we think about Pan. All right, so Gohan and Videl. These are the perfect couple on the top and bottom. Both of these, so Gohan and Videl, if you're not a Dragon Ball Z fan, there were two kids that got together, but Gohan is very mild-mannered. He's very happy-go-lucky. He knows his power, but he's not obsessed with fighting. He's not obsessed with protecting the world. He's not obsessed. He just works his job, loves his family, and married to the woman that he fell in love with because he was powerful as her. Actually, he was really more powerful than her, but yet he knows his power and destructive power. So he actually went around as a whole nother character called Santa Man. Anyway, let's stay on topic. I went off. I got a little geeked out. Don't hit a nigga. Just because nigga's pretty like this, hey, swagged out. I told you I'm a Sigma. You feel me? I like my stuff, but I got my geeky moments, and that's one of my geek out moments. Fuck. Anywho. But because of that, she matched his energy and found out that he was everything on a masculine level, provider, protector, and powerful. And she matched that energy because she was a provider, protector, and her masculine energy, but she realized that she was in the presence of a form of greatness. And so she was okay with becoming feminine with him. And at that point, they became a great couple versus, and this is how you work it. So that's the Sigma and Sigma dating and connecting with that energy. In the exotic entertainment industry, we normally, the entertainers that attract Sigma man, they normally be your long-term customers. Those the guys that actually come in, they support you. Y'all might link up or hook up a good time. Those normally like those situational relationships where that you grow to love on him, even though you're doing your thing and you're working your own thing, and he's grown to put you into his circle of trust. See, the thing that makes a Sigma relationship works is trust. Period. It's trust. It's the ability to be vulnerable with each other without judging each other as if y'all are against each other, because now y'all learn to be honest. And if you find yourself in a space where that you meet a Sigma man, which he is stable in his mindset, his body set, in his spirit set, he's stable in all of those areas, but he also is okay with letting you be free, meaning he's not going to press you to be in his energy, and you're not pressed to be in his energy, but y'all recognize that y'all both have a power to that be more successful together instead of apart. That's a place where that 1%, which is trust, of allowing each other to trust each other unquestionably, undoubtedly, unless proven otherwise, it don't work. So trust is the common factor. Russell Brunson and his wife, Alex Hormozy and his wife, those are people who got it out the mud, and they were Sigma personalities, meaning she believed in him and he loved her and he trusted her, and they built something because they trusted each other. And that was the common factor. Well, I knew it was going to come to me. So if you want to know real world examples of people who are successful, who have used the blueprint of I wouldn't say they used the blueprint, but I associated mine of how I learned it from the exotic entertainment world as an exoticpreneur. Those are people that you can Google right now. You can look up and you'll see the traits. Look for the traits. They're good with themselves. They was compatible with each other. They knew who they are and they knew who they loved and they were compatible. Great successes, powerful successes, major couples. Now let's move on to the Ultraman or the alpha woman, alpha man. These are people that are high earners, high income people. They are very competitive, they're very structured. These are Grant and Elena Cardone. Ultra alpha, highly successful. These are Barack Obama, Michelle Obama. You feel what I'm saying? These are Ruby D and Izzy Davis. Okay. These are Coretta and Martin Luther. These are Malcolm X and his wife. This is basically a lot of the TD Jakes and his wife. These are ultra alphas. These are alpha men who lead by example, lead by things. They are strong. They are ambitious. They are working. And she is too. Now, those energies are very hard to manage and control. Reason why? Because y'all very alpha. Y'all big dog, y'all top G. Most of y'all, and let's keep it a buck, most of y'all, including myself, if I go into the alpha space or because I'm working towards my divinity space, so I'm looking for a divine feminine energy. I'm only open to that where she is healed, she is helpful, and she's empathic, and she's allowing me to be fully masculine in my masculine energy without fear of failure. And if you're not in that space, baby, wasting your time with a guy like me. I don't care about the modern day.
What is a driven man? A driven man is powered by his ambition, by his dreams, by his vision. He worked in purpose and on purpose. He's a man that is known by and respected by all men and women. He is hardworking, he is dedicated, he is empathetic, he is spiritual, he is masculine, he is driven. See, what I wanted to do is I created a fragrance line called Driven. It's designed by me. It embodies the very essence of going the extra mile, going forward, making things happen no matter what's going on, no matter what distraction, he's still staying driven. And I compose this into an amazing fragrance that I believe represents all men that is driven. It is preferred by your ladies, but it's respected by your men. And listen, I grab you a bottle of the Driven Man bottle, a sample. You can actually get this cool shirt, a Driven bottle, and our actual hand cream that's made with all natural ingredients, organic ingredients of cocoa butter, mango butter. Hydrate your skin. It'll actually repair your damaged skin, and it doubles down on the sunscreen. Our Driven fragrance is a proprietary fragrance that is not done and used by any other commercially sold fragrances. One of our most prized and natural ingredients is glycerin, which is plant-based fire, which bonds fragrance to you. But the great part about this glycerin that it actually moisturizes your skin and actually hydrates your skin. Unlike the big box commercially sold cosmetics, my fragrance actually lasts for 5 to 7 hours. But as you sweat and you perspire, it's actually going to enhance the skin because of that glycerin. So it actually helps it last longer. And the great part about it is hypoallergenic. So if you have sensitive skin, one of the greatest testimonies that I have out here is that it doesn't irritate your skin, even though you want to smell good, you want to feel great, you want to let everybody know about your greatness. My fragrances are designed to actually complement your natural pH balance and your natural tone. Even if you have sensitive skin, it will not irritate it. That's something I can stand on. And because of that, I actually offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied for any reason, just sit up here and communicate with me. All my contact information is directly on the website. What I'd like to ask you to do is go to drivenformen.com. That's driven, TRIVEN, for men, FORMEN.com, and grab your bottle. Okay? Grab your bottle and get what all my current customers are raving about and what I think you'll be raving about. See, everyone loves the Driven Man. This is just what it smells like. I am Donald Perattis, and I'll see you on the other side.
Nothing. We're not going to worry about your bank account. That doesn't matter because this is the alpha to divinity space. So in the alpha space, y'all both got money. Okay. A lot of the determining factors is not the money. It's the personality types. Are you willing to trust your partner? And he is a high level. Because he's now highly desired. She is highly desired. These are your internet influencers that are twerking her butt, but she really got a whole nigga at the crib that she's giving all that Google. Then these are your influencers that got the OnlyFans sites that you wish you was the dude or the woman or the man or the woman that was catching that 13 or that was popping that beautiful woman. That alpha energy right there is very hard to control because it's very domineering. One of the things that's going to make that relationship win or lose is really y'all ability to respect each other. So the common factor is not trust. Trust is like a part of it, but it's the respect. Y'all have to respect each other's boundaries, quirks, and respect each other's area of collaboration. I advise everybody to read Barack Obama's last book and Michelle Obama's Becoming book. I read both of those books, and it gives you a great understanding of what it's like to be the first lady and first man of the world that changed the world, impacted the world, but also give a clear, honest, transparent perspective on what it's like to operate, governing, and having the power to control the free world as we know it today as husband and wife in the midst of being impactful and still maintain a loving relationship and healthy marriage, doing all of those tumultuous times, doing their tenure and term. I highly recommend y'all read those books. It will give you one of the best blueprints if you are ultra alpha male and female, how to work with each other, how to actually have a successful marriage. Seriously, how to have a successful relationship. Seriously. Learning, if you get that goal part, you will know that one of the greatest statements that Andrew Tate state, and I quote, and I want to quote him, I'm going to probably use the sound bite so we can cut away to that, is the fact of the matter that Andrew Tate says, ultra big top G guy says, and I am paraphrasing, is that the most critical decision that you can make in your life is having a woman that is your choice and mate. It's the woman that respects you, loves you, trusts you, and is willing to not sacrifice herself, but be a part of your greater goal. That woman is richer than gold. The Proverbs 31 woman, the Proverbs 31 that's written in the Bible, if you look up Proverbs 31 and you go through that whole skyline, it is a clear blueprint on how to operate and attract a alpha woman, but her duties as alpha woman to be with an alpha male. And that relationship is what makes it work. Anything that falls short or falls out of alignment of that, it won't work. Because if she gets ultra masculine energy, that's why I have to roll back to, with all the respect, with Stormy Wellington. The reason why I use her is because I respect her so much. I feel for her. I have so much empathy for her because She has put her whole heart, mind, body, and spirit out here for the public to see at the sacrifice of her own personal relationships that I believe she would have if she wasn't on this pedestal. Period. I believe that if she wasn't on this pedestal at the level that she is, she would actually have one of them. She would actually have a more stabler, publicly known relationship with a man and a female, because I see what kind of dynamic she brings to the table. But the type of man that she has to have that's alpha on her level, where that she respects on the same level, but also as concerned to her and allow her to be as vulnerable as possible and still be respected on the platform, I believe is out there for her, because she's only 42 years young. She's fine in the motherfucker. Oh, no cap. She's in my age range. We was born 1 year behind each other. No cap. You feel what I'm saying? But on the same fact, I understand what kind of man she needs in her life. Now, I'm not shooting my shot. Not at all. So I don't want nobody put it out there saying, hey, Don P trying to shoot his shot. No, I just respect her and I understand her, because we walked similar paths, but just didn't do it the same way. And I've been in the industry where that you know that energy extremely well. And when you know the energy, the patterns, you actually know how this plays out. In the end, is how Oprah and Stedman works. They work because he was okay with being the second or back end guy in a relationship with an Oprah. And she works in that same energy if you was to do a comparison and contrast. And ironically, they're in the same calendar time. She's a Aquarius and she's a Pisces, but they're right there at the cusp line. So shout out to all our Aquarius and Pisces people. Boom. But because of that energy, the masculine, ultra alpha masculine energy has to allow room, respectful room, if she is the top dog, for him to understand she is doing this for the betterment of her divine energy. And because she, for example, Stormy Wellington, Dita Von Teese, even a Pamela Anderson, to be honest. Now, of course, they put out a lot of stuff, so we get into that thing. If y'all make comments on the stuff, state your point, but make it make sense in relation to the content. But I forgot the other people. But when you're working with an ultra alpha woman and you are an alpha man, there is no domination. There's literally just respect. And that's the understanding. And that's the pattern that I've learned that became successful. The reason why one of the great and associated spaces does, again, Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, Beyonce and Jay-Z. They are ultra alpha men and female. And they really are operating in their divine space as highest as you can get it, for real. Because Jay-Z, in his own open interview, he literally spoke on his relationship of almost losing his wife, the perfect woman in all aspects of it. I'm like, you can't get no better of a wife, and her beauty, success, and power than a Beyonce, who actually has the talent equivalent. Period. And that's all respect. Shout out to the Virgo gang. You feel me? Because that's the energy she works in, that divinity space, where she's beautiful on thing, but she can cut you down and be an evil motherfucker on behind the scenes when you pull that curve back. She ain't the thing. That's why Jay-Z said in one of his raps, he said, my lady is harder than a lot of you niggas. You feel me? That's a real thing. She's straight savage. Don't let that Maybelline and L'Oreal fool you. Them girls is real savages. These are, if you ever look up the wives of the husbands of the presidents and states, them women were savages. They didn't play, but they made sure that they kept their men in the elevated space to operate at the highest energy because of the responsibility that they took on. So if you are a woman dealing with an alpha man and you understand he is a leader, then you understand your position is to be a support system and a actual compatibility to protect his back, as they say in the military, protect my six, my G. You feel me? And if you're not a woman that genuinely able to do that, that you are not qualified to be in his space. You just are there to fulfill whatever sexual needs that's required, and that's it. That's the pendulum that you play when you're playing an alpha game. A lot of y'all modern day women who are modern day women, get you a Sigma dude. Work through that trust. But if you're going for an alpha dude and you're fighting, this is where the conversation of the Kevin Samuels became entertainment and clickbait, but it was supportive privately, but it wasn't stated publicly. And I'm the person that has to state the truth publicly so that there's no confusion, because I'm not here for everybody. I'm here for the people I'm called to serve. And it's got to be truth and truth. Okay. Myron Golden and his wife is a prime example of the divine relationship, because she moved. I've never seen the lady a day in my life. I don't know who she is. I would not claim it. But the way they operate, it had to be in a divine order, because they've been married for 38 years. So he got something down right. Dave Ramsey and his wife. See, you got to understand the dynamics and the principles work in a divinity space. Okay. So we're moving on to the divinity space. Taking a quick. All right, we're back. I just wanted to make sure that everything was still on the up and up. Okay. So we're moving into the divinity space. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about the betas, because the betas are the betas. Like, we're going to skate through this part real quick, because I hope y'all I pray that y'all getting value and understanding the relationship dynamics in your masculine, your divinity, your sigma, and your beta energy. Now, your beta energy, let's get this down to the things. I was there. I've been there. I lived in that space for a long time, because I was programmed to believe that I wasn't meant to be great. I can say that for myself. So I fawned a lot. I was a bitch nigga myself. So a lot of women who had alpha energy because of their hurt would try to dominate my energy and try to dominate me because I'm a sigma. I know who I am, but I'm not trying to bully none of y'all. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Because of that, they use that as a caveat to now dump. And it put me in a space where I was conflicted as a man of this don't feel right, but I don't want to lose her as a woman, because I put her on such a high pedestal and how I was raised, how I grew up, and what I understood and believed at the moment because of the environment I was in. And what they put out on the thing is that women could do no wrong. You put her on a high spell, you give her everything she needs. You show her everything. You be the man that you were called to be, provider, protector, lover, where that I obsessed with being as close of a perfect man in the relationship as possible, only to find out that I was attracting the most brokenest women on the planet who leveraged it. And I'm being completely transparent about that, who leveraged that as a position to use me as a stepping stone, to fall off over the man that they really wanted, but felt like they were settling with the man like me. That's the beta. That's straight what it was. So I can comfortably talk to you without fear of failure, without loss of character, that I was that guy. The woman that felt like she was beat down because she felt she couldn't get no better, because all she attracted and worked with was broken men. She felt she could save them. You feel what I'm saying? Even if she didn't have much, but she would give her that. And she will and the men, these was a lot of the men who go out looking for young girls, who was looking for confused, disenfranchised, distressed women who would literally prey on. That's why I understand when they say predatory. I get it. The areas that really exploded those spaces to a point of disruption, I don't respect that, period. Because y'all took a lot of things and attacked a lot of good people that worked in very integral spaces, and intentionally took them out of malice and evil intent. And I shame y'all for that. Y'all are very ugly, freaky people. And y'all know who y'all are. I don't respect nothing y'all stand on. Y'all are trash, because that's wrong. It's so many good people that are paying for the actions of a few people. It's the Price's law. There's always going to be great people that are great people. Then there's always going to be a point where there's light that's going to be dark. There's always going to be that. But you literally was willing to burn millions of people, a lot of great men and women, at the sacrifice of your personal insecurities, because you chose wrong. And we cannot atone for the atrocities that you experienced. Why? I'm an African-American man. We're African-American in America. It ain't nobody getting as much bullshit as we are, and we ain't on that tip. So how dare you? Yes, I'm going on my tablet, man, so be correct. But how dare you sit here and make other people pay for that stuff? That's y'all people. That's y'all Europeans. Y'all European people went out and did all that fuck shit. Period. And now you're trying to bring us into your rally cry as if we had something to do with it. We had nothing to do with it. We was brought here. We didn't come here. You feel what I'm saying? And we got that. So now you putting us in that beta space, and a lot of men that are in that beta space, for the most part, even though women are in that beta space, but they get out of that real quick because of the emotional intelligence that they possess. How I know this to be true is I had a daughter. And my daughter connected on the emotional intelligence space faster than anything I've ever seen in my life. So I know for a fact, y'all divine energy and emotional intelligence supersedes all men coming out the gate unless you birth one of those indigo babies. And if you did, more power to you. Because I know for a fact women on it as a whole don't sit in beta long. Men, y'all do. And I'm going to give you a context to the content on a timeline, so I can give you the whole game. Most of y'all guys grow out of y'all beta stage if you try to do anything ambitious and progressive in your life. So now you're putting us in that beta space, and a lot of men that are in that beta space, for the most part, even though women are in that beta space, but they get out of that real quick because of the emotional intelligence that they possess. How I know this to be true is I had a daughter. And my daughter connected on the emotional intelligence space faster than anything I've ever seen in my life. So I know for a fact, y'all divine energy and emotional intelligence supersedes all men coming out the gate unless you birth one of those indigo babies. And if you did, more power to you. Because I know for a fact women on it as a whole don't sit in beta long. Men, y'all do. And I'm going to give you a context to the content on a timeline, so I can give you the whole game. Most of y'all guys grow out of y'all beta stage if you try to do anything ambitious and progressive in your life around 35, 40. That's when y'all start, they always say peaking, but that's when you're maturity and you start understanding a little bit of life. Men and women have expiration dates on their value system, on their attractive value level, and their mental growth. They have not on your mentality. You can always change your perspective, even if you're fucking on your dying bed, but your actual method of modes to actually get busy, y'all have expiration dates. Okay. Let's give you a clear example so that I make sure that we're clear and honest and truthful. Okay. And I'm operating in truth and not in bullshit. Kevin Samuels stated best that the average women value was between the ages of 18 to about 30 something. Okay. Why? Because those are your childbearing years. Those are the parts. But this is also the places where she's the most emotionally intelligent. Right? This is the places where she has the most fertile and most tight, most voluptuous and most supple. But here's the flip side to it. She's now as she gets older, have the most likelihood of not being able to procreate past those years, where it's now a detriment of her health. So that's her value connection index. Now let's flip that on the other side. Most guys are now emotionally ignorant. They're mostly intelligent, but they may be academically intelligent. They may be socially intelligent. They may be, which is like a guy like me who is academically intelligent and didn't develop social intelligence until later in his life. So his emotional intelligence is nowhere near yours, which means his value of economic and financial intelligence is now being tried and tested to grow up. Why? So his same meeting point of 35 to 35, which is y'all sweet spot, in the 30s is y'all sweet spot to really start connecting with each other, so y'all can get the game right here, the real nigga game, not the destructive, not the disruptive, but the communicative and collaborative game. The sweet spot is the 30s. Okay, that's the time where y'all can meet in the middle and build something great, because both have a 10-year window to transform. 10 years. Malcolm Caldwell in his book, he states that you can master any habit, any skill set with a 10,000 hour rule. We all know the work, so this is how you apply it. Okay, so between that window, his value paradigm goes up as he gets older and gain more maturity and start gaining more emotional intelligence. So of course, when y'all both meet, if you are not a healed woman in your 30s that have now made a man that's in his 30s, where he's now at his not peaking, but now reaching his breaking point to transform to a higher level. That means if he was a beta man, he's transformed to a sigma man. If he's a sigma man, he's transforming to an alpha man. And if he's an alpha man, he's transforming to a divine being.
Hey man, shout out to Don P for the Driven lotion, Driven cologne. This all for the men. Y'all go out and cop this on the website. Also follow me at richblackclothing.com. Trust me, you'll like what it speaks to generational wealth, rich beyond love and cash.
Yes, sir.
Knowledge is key, man. So make sure y'all check it out. Check Driven out. We appreciate y'all. Love the support.
Definitely.
Then at that, doing that paradigm shift is where you're going to have to start doing some evaluations, baby. Big dog. Because this is the area where that now you got to look back over your life and see where the fuck you was at. This is the real game. It's real talk. Okay? If you was on that beta game, you're going to start maturing up because you going to hate the pattern. Now, here's the truth and the fact of the matter. Do not fault the people that went in because you attracted that energy to you because you was that person. That's to be honest. You don't like the problem, then change the input. You don't like what you're getting, change what you're putting in so you can get the right output out. That's a business tip and that's a personal tip. What you put in is what you get out. It's the law of reciprocity. It's the law of karmatic energy. This is the Ma'at laws. These are the principles of God. It ain't that many, but they're very simple, very duplicatable, very applicable right now. If you're attracting Pookies and Ray Rays that are women beaters, jailbait niggas, hustle niggas like that, then you're changing your input. That means your coochie is jumping for them type of dudes. Why? Because you're that type of chick. You want broken men who have high goals, high ambitions, and ability to provide on a high level, but they are broken on the inside, which means they have areas where they're going to take their shit out on you, and you want that too. You want that. Why? Because you're broken. That's the facts. That's the part. So yeah, we're going to cut a little deep on there. If you are a man and you're only sitting here looking for broken women, broken girls that you can save, women that you can look after, women that you can dominate with your money, you are broken yourself. You're fucked up. And both of y'all are on some narcissistic bullshit. And because of that, y'all relationship will never work. Why? Because she's on some bullshit and you on some bullshit. Y'all really need to just own y'all bullshit and then be great together. Because y'all know y'all on some bullshit. Let's keep it a buck. Let's always keep it 100. Now, doing that journey and you're progressing and you're being successful and you're now identifying your fawns and your failures. But now you're transforming to the new version of your 2.0 version. That means ascending, okay? You worked it out. Level 15. Now you're getting 11, 19 to level 20. You transforming, you're moving into that space. At that point, you're no longer in the beta space. You figured it out, you worked it out. Normally you figure that stuff out in your late 20s, early 30s. You may not figure it out, but if you catch the vibe on this dang on podcast, either audibly or on Instagram, on YouTube, then here. Now, of course, I didn't put no dang on commercials and plugs in this bad boy, but if you didn't catch it, I will. Now, we move all the way up to that beta space. At the end of the day, the beta space is work your shit out because all in a very fucked up energy. And me coming from the exotic entertainment world, I've seen the uglies of the uglies. I've experienced it, actually tried to grow people out of it, and to the point where I took on that energy and became that for a minute and then had to work it out of me. So it took years. Now, how long did this take? It's up to you. That's up to you. Applying yourself diligently, as I say, apply the 1% world. And now we're going to throw it in there. Go ahead and register right now at 1percentvalue.com and get your free book on how to become a shiny penny that adds value. It's a great, impactful book. I believe it will help anybody, no matter where you're at in your journey, to become great and allow yourself to add value to people's life in a holistic and narrative without taking away from yourself, but actually be the shiny penny that adds value and be the most impact to impact the most people. Okay, back to our already scheduled program. So if you're in that beta space, male or female, and y'all know who y'all are, because why? Y'all doing the things. Here's some key things to know that you're in this beta space. Why? Are you only working with men that are broken and women? You're only working for men and women that are broken. You're constantly trying to dominate or control them because you know that if you can't control them, then you can't hold them. These are the mothers who leverage their motherhood and make their sons their pseudo boyfriends because the men that they were attracted and in love with was not fucking with them because they were fucked up and they were mean and they were evil, they were malicious, they did dirty stuff. A lot of times they was promiscuous with men and it embarrassed the man that was actually good man and disrupted his status. So if you understand the level of the alpha man that a lot of people have concern, and this breaks down to a very clear fact, and that's status which garners the respect. This is where when you're at that level, and these are especially very significant for alphas who are in the public eye. Because if you were making any kind of money for real, I'm talking about if you're having 2 commas on your bank account in your bank statement, you got some type of public notoriety. It may not be much, but enough. The fact that your status cannot go lower with a woman that you're dating. This is one of the reasons why they make it seem like you're a bad person. If you're caught with a prostitute and you earn a certain amount of money, it disrupts your status. Duh. But let's keep it a buck. A lot of us need them. We need those hot and ready women out there. Why? Because we still need the emotional or the physical touch. So it's a disruption of that space. So what's done in the dark has to come in light, right? This is why it was disrupting Trump's status when Stormy Daniels was putting his business out. It disrupted status because now you are a billionaire who is an ultra alpha male, but yet what you done in the dark is now coming out, and now they're disrupting your financial stability off of your status because you were messy in the dark and it all fell out, and now they're attacking your financial stability. And I want you to catch the game on this stuff. Their financial status, because you became rich in compliance, even though you was following the law, even though you was doing everything in the proper compliance of the law. But since you outed them, now they got to out you. And now they got to take care of why? Because America and any government ain't going to lose no status of a motherfucker that we trusted you on the inside. This is how the respect factor becomes a big deal. Because what's done in the dark comes to light. But if you're a person that they was provided to, this is like the friend that you trusted to give you, that you share private or privileged information to, and then they go out and start snitching on you. That's that bullshit. It's that bullshit. And a lot of y'all beta niggas and beta females be on that tip. Oh, y'all was friends one day and now y'all not friends. And then you saying because this chick did this. And I go a great deep tip in my original book, Defined by Purpose, Enter the Exoticprenuer, where we talk about the guidelines and laws of the friendship and money. Boom. So when you are in that beta space, understand that everybody in that beta energies are bottom figures, they're crab sakers, they're very low vibration, they're very tumultuous. These are the people that actually pay for a lot of the stuff that y'all go into. These are the people that pay for this stuff. Why? They buy into it. This is why the algorithms go crazy when you put something disruptive or something that's quote unquote diminutive to the culture. This is why Chakra Bars do so great numbers when that dude is doing some very impactful work in Ghana to help the people, but it ain't doing the major numbers unless he posts some fine booties or some crazy titties on that bad boy. But that's the truth of the matter. The algorithm pops it. When I post some of my old pictures and the old photo shoots I have with all of the beautiful women I was working with, my stories go crazy. But when I'm talking about this progressive positive stuff, my stuff is getting shadow banned. Maybe not. I hope not. Hey, but if y'all like y'all content, like and subscribe, and go forward with that. Okay, so now that we just do a quick recap so we know what it is and know what it ain't. All right, if you are a beta person, start working on yourself. Honestly, read the books. Get my books, but get other books like Think and Grow Rich, Mastering You, Start With Why, Enter the Exoticprenuer, Believe Is Everything, 6 Daily Habits. Start working on that dark psychology. Get your shit together. Inner Size is another great book for those techies. If you need more colorful books, Four Personalities of the MLM is a great book. And again, first and foremost, make sure y'all get the Bible. Do the Quran, the Torah, the Bible, all of those religious books. Read them, study them, learn them. I don't even know why I didn't even start with that. My bad. Any of those religious books, learn the game. learn those blueprints are very in there on just your personal development. Okay, so if you're in a beta space, work on your personal development. It is to your impact to get your shit together by getting your mind right and your spirit together. Now, if you're in the Sigma space and you're literally balanced and you're mastered your light and your dark and you're working in the gray, listen, y'all got to trust each other. That's the only way it works. If you don't trust each other, you're operating in your 1% of your 99 self. If he's whole and you're whole, then become a exponential growth. That's alignment. That's spiritually aligned. 100 times 100 is 10,000. You feel what I'm saying? But if you're a 99 and he's 100, it's only going to give you, what's that, 9,999? You're not going to get the whole thing. You're not going to get there. You suck. You're going to suck. One of y'all going to come up short. And it always shows itself. This is where becoming 100 in a room of 99 is very important. If you become the shiny penny that adds value and you're 100%, it will always compound to something great. So if you're in that Sigma space like myself and other people like that, be trustworthy, but allow yourself to trust other people. Other than that, it don't work. If you're still worried about what they is going to do and what they ain't going to do, get the fuck away from them. I'm asking you to leave. Because you're going to waste their time and you're wasting your time. If you're an alpha and you're working in your alpha space, male and female, respect is the key. If y'all going to be disrespectful because y'all got money and not respecting them as people, as purpose, and you're not listening or hearing them out, then y'all going to fail. Respect is the common factor there. I've gave you millions, I gave you tons of examples of people who have successful relationships, not perfect relationships, but successful relationships. Why? Because they established the core ingredient, the core word that made it work. So respect for the alphas, trust for the sigmas, and personal development for the betas. Now the divines. Y'all divines, I mean, y'all the shit.com. Listen, y'all just keep doing what y'all doing because y'all have a maximum impact. There is no area of it, but I would impart on y'all, and this is one thing that I learned, and I'm gonna pull from the Bible and the spate of King Solomon, who asked for the most impactful, most best thing that he needed to actually achieve total greatness. And what was that? Wisdom. So for my divine beings that are out here doing a thing, just keep associating and applying wisdom, seeking your highest intelligence, operating at your highest level. And for us Christians, seeking God, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all things be made abundant unto you. For my spiritual people, align yourself with the universe and highest connection to my ancient Kemetic family, and fucks with y'all, applying the laws, the eight divine laws of Ma'at and the 42 virtues. Operating in alignment. For my Muslim brothers and sisters, hey, look, trust Allah in all things, and everything will be there for you, because Allah is everything, because he is God. You feel me? My thing is, the goal is not to be in division, but be in collection and connection with each other. You feel me? And with that, I would like all of y'all to like and subscribe. And one more time, if you mess with the content in this comment below, share it with your friends. I believe this is going to be great for you and great for the as the Exoticprenuer mindset. As always, I need y'all to stay healthy. Let us be well.